Okay, welcome everybody. Those of you that are on Zoom and our Zoom platform and also on Facebook Live. We're here, Martin Pea and Lance Luke, to discuss a interesting topic called construction warranties. So feel free to post your questions on our Zoom platform in the chat feature or Q&A. And then also, if you're on Facebook, you can post your comments directly to Facebook, unless you want to log on to our Zoom platform. You can do that as well. Now, the reason we put these series together is to help building owners, property managers, homeowners, and condo associations, board members, and such, because we have interesting topics on building and construction things to talk about. Once again, the topic today is construction warranties, redefined print, and let's go right into it. What is a warranty? Before I explain that, have any of you guys ever got a call from somebody saying, "Oh, we're calling to talk to you about your extended construction warranty"? Anybody? Mostly they're calling about your car warranty, right? I don't know anybody who's gotten a call from somebody regarding an extended construction warranty. So, I mean, I wish they would call. I wish they would call me and say, "Oh, we're reminding you that you can renew your warranty on this product or that product." But for the most part, there is no renewal. If you buy a building product, there's normally a warranty time period and there's no extension. And I'm talking about most of the building products, such as roofing, siding, even nails, windows, doors, walls, drywall. Almost every component that goes into building a house or a structure, regardless if it's one house or it's a 40-story high-rise building with 300 units or a shopping center or hotel, the warranty provided by the contractor is still valid. It's basically the same. It just depends on what type of material they're giving a warranty. And then there's another warranty, which is for their construction work, their labor warranty. Well, let's talk about what the definition of a warranty is. Basically, it's an assurance from the builder, the contractor, or it could be the developer, that the building is free from structural, electrical, plumbing, and other defects and is fit for the intended purpose. So that's basically a simple definition. So the building should be free from any kind of defects. Now, the building could be any kind of building. It could be a single family house. It could be brand new condo building. It could be a shopping center. It could also be an existing building that they're doing renovation or remodeling or adding on an addition. So there should be a warranty for the new work, and it wouldn't cover the older section of the building, but it should cover, the new section and electrical, plumbing, structural, and other building components. So let's talk about roofing. So the idea is that when the roof is installed, it's fit for the intended purpose. So if, by example, that roof fails and it starts leaking, was it actually built for the intended purpose? No, it wasn't, because it starts failing due to the leaks. Same with your siding and roofing, and even paint. If the paint is on the building and it starts peeling off within the warranty period, then it's not fit for the intended purpose. The intended purpose is to provide waterproofing protection on the bare wood so that there's no wood rot later. So you can get into these finite details about each building component, but it's best to, first ask whoever is constructing the house, ask them what the warranty is for, different building components. So as I mentioned before, there's really two types of warranties. There's a labor warranty, which is called a workmanship warranty, and there's a material warranty, which is the building product or the building component warranty. And basically, the warranty is from point A to point B in a time consideration. So on a labor warranty, the contractor would give a warranty from the time he completes the building until the warranty period is over. And it's pretty much standard for a contractor to give a 1-year warranty. Okay, so for the labor workmanship, it's normally standard industry to give a 1-year warranty. It's not required. The contractor can give a 2-year warranty or 5-year warranty on workmanship if he wants to. But the norm is 1 year, and it's 1 year for good workmanship. So in other words, if something failed due to a bad workmanship issue within the warranty period, then that contractor should be obligated to go back and fix the problem. Now, if the problem wasn't due to a workmanship problem, but it was due to a building material problem, then the contractor still should be obligated to go back and fix it, but go back to the manufacturer or wherever they bought the material from and get replacements and fix the problem at no charge. Okay, now here's an example. Let's say the contractor is doing a roofing job, and he's putting shingles on the roof, but some of the shingles were defective and weren't working out that well. In other words, the minerals were coming off. You can see the roofing paper and all that within a couple of years. So during the manufacturing process, something went wrong and a couple of shingles were defective. So the contractor could file a claim for defective roofing shingles, or if it's only a couple, more than likely he'll go to wherever he bought it from, the source, pick up some new ones and go reinstall it, all at no charge to you. If he wants to go take it up with the building product manufacturer, he's welcome to do that. Now, if it's your entire roof that's like that, he might not pay for it. He might say, well, I don't know, I gotta file a claim with the roofing manufacturer first, or the homeowner has to before any kind of settlement happens, and maybe the manufacturer would provide that contractor with bundles of roofing shingles, and the contractor will go back and reinstall it. And it may become an issue where the contractor says, well, who's going to pay for the labor? It's not my fault that the shingles are bad, so I need to get paid for the labor. And normally the roofing manufacturer would chip in some money, and maybe the homeowner would need to, whatever is fair. So that's an example of roofing material. So let's say the contractor is installing a concrete slab. Okay, so the concrete basically has a warranty, but if you don't follow the instructions, the warranty is void. Meaning, if let's say on a big job where they're pouring entire footing of a house, okay, or a building. So you have all these concrete trucks lined up, and they're called cement mixers because they're mixing cement, water, and aggregate and sand all in their mixing truck. So they're mixing it, and let's say that there's a shelf life of a couple hours, and that truck gets into a traffic jam because there was an accident on the freeway, and by the time he gets to the job site, the concrete is 4 hours old already, and it can't be used. But the contractor, puts some more water in it, mixes it, and starts using it. If that concrete starts cracking and exhibits signs of failure, that's a building product problem, but the contractor should have rejected the concrete and sent the truck back and say, hey, sorry, pal, I can't use the concrete because it's too old already. And I can't just arbitrarily add water in because there's a specific water to cement ratio, and I don't know how much water I need to add. Okay, so it gets kind of technical in construction litigation cases, which I'm called on as an expert witness. We have to go through all these finite details because the contractor says, no, it's not my labor, it's the material. So, okay, well, then we have to take samples of the concrete and have it tested, send it to a laboratory and see, what properties there are in it to determine whether it's in fact defective material or not. So it could get kind of really technical, but for the purposes of this webinar, I'm not going to get too technical unless people have questions after. Okay, moving along. Let's talk about inspection. So let's say the contractor's building a high-rise building under construction, and there's 200 to 500 different building components that are going into the building. Who's actually overseeing the job, or who should be overseeing the job? Or let's say it's not a new building and you have a townhouse and they're installing new siding and painting. So what is the standard practice? A lot of times in the industry, in the condominium management industry, the board hires the contractor directly, and there's no third-party inspection. Or there could be the property manager or the resident and site manager inspecting, and they may not hire a construction manager or construction consultant. So now you have the contractor doing work, and you have a resident manager or a board member inspecting the work and signing off that the work's acceptable and they can make their payment. Now, is that the right thing to do? Probably not. The right thing to do is have a protocol set and hire experts. So let's take an example of the townhouse where they're doing new siding. There's a general contractor that's installing the siding, and they could hire a subcontractor to do the painting, or maybe the general contractor is doing both the wood repair, siding, and the painting. Okay, in that case, the client, the customer, should require the contractor or contractors to inspect their own work. And that's what I mean by inspections required by third parties. There's no law saying that the contractor has to inspect it, but you want to be sure that the contractor inspects his own work. Okay, now, if the project is big, the construction project is big, and you have to hire an architect or engineer, then you should require that design consultant to actually do your inspections too and for you. So let's say, for instance, we're doing a repiping job. We're replacing all the cast iron piping in the building because they're old and failing. there's a mechanical engineer that's hired to draw the plans for the project. So you would require that engineer to go and inspect the work as well. Okay. Now, if the engineer says, well, that's extra, I only got paid to do the plans and it's not in my contract to do inspections. Well, believe it or not, he's actually required by law to do inspections. He doesn't have to go every day or every week, but he just has to go enough to make sure that he can certify at the end of the job that I personally inspected the job, and there was some observation by me or my company, and I'm signing off saying everything is built to code. Okay. The next party that's required as an inspector is the city and county building inspector. So regardless of what location you're in, and this webinar is for not only people in Hawaii, but all over the United States and the world, in whatever jurisdictions there could be your municipal building inspector. It could be known as a city inspector, a county inspector, or some government entity inspector. In some jurisdictions, they're known as the authority having jurisdiction, AHJ, which is referred to in the building code. Okay, so the authority having jurisdiction is basically your governmental official that's in charge of your design, your plans, and your permits and all that. So, and in some situations, that inspection team that the government has, they're too overloaded. They don't have time to go to every single job site and spend hours there. Sometimes they do a drive-by. So you can't really depend on the building inspector. I'd rather depend on the architect or engineer. Or better yet, there's a construction project manager, hopefully, that's hired on the job. So that person normally does their inspections because they have to sign off approving for the contractor to get paid. So that's another inspection that should be required. And then also your building material representative. So remember the example I gave you about the roof going on. So in large projects that I manage, I always ask the building material rep to come in and do the inspection as well to make sure. So we have a lot of gatekeepers. So the requirement for this whole warranty thing is the contractor should do their own inspections, a subcontractor, architect or engineer, the building inspector, construction and project manager, and the material rep. So you see all these people. How many projects are going on now where you don't have all these people inspecting? You basically have the contractor inspecting his own work. And for quality assurance, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you need more eyes on the job. Now, let me explain that the building inspector for the city and county is not part of that team to provide a warranty or have anything to do with a warranty. Okay, all the other people would. So let's say you have a big project going on and the owner hires a construction manager. Okay, so the people responsible for warranty is the general contractor, subcontractor, architect, engineer, the construction or project manager, and the building material rep. Okay, all those people have something to do with the warranty. The general contractor and the building rep provides the warranty. The architect, engineer, construction manager make sure that the construction is such that the property is able to get a warranty. So there's a difference. So the city inspector doesn't even worry about warranties. He just worries about what the building code is and whether the construction follows the building code. Okay, what else do we have? Let's talk about industry specifications and best practices. It's actually, believe it or not, association is called CSI, and it's not that show on TV where people die and they try to find out forensic stuff and how the person died and all that. This is pertaining to the construction industry. So CSI stands for Construction Specifications Institute, and that's probably the number one guide and association that has to do with construction specs for almost every building, every component of a building. And then there's also specialty building product associations and standards. So for instance, if you have siding, there's associations for siding, roofing, doors, windows, and all that. So if in doubt, you can go directly to the specific associations that govern contractors and ask them what their specs are. So you have your CSI group, and then you have your specialty building product group, and then also there's best practices. Best practices is basically what would general contractor do to install this type of material. That's the best practice. So if it doesn't meet that standard, then that's not industry standard. That's below standard. And it could, anything below standard could be construed as poor workmanship if it doesn't meet, the specifications. Okay, so there's different guidelines to follow. Now there's contract fine print exclusion. So in a construction contract, make sure that you have the warranty information stated in the specific contract. Okay, and if you read the fine print, you might need a magnifying glass, but if you read the fine print, there's a clause that says we, the general contractor, there's no warranty for damage or defects for any work not performed by us, the contractor. So in other words, if the owner decides to, let's say there's a house under construction and the owner decides to bring in his own contractor to install the windows and not the main contractor or the general contractor. And if somehow the wall gets damaged due to the window contractor, you can't blame the general contractor. So that's another clause in there. Then also non-compliance with installation and maintenance instructions. There's no warranty. So for instance, if on roofing again, if in the roofing instructions it says you cannot walk on the roof, but yet the homeowner looked on his roof and there was some fireworks from New Year's on his roof, and he climbed on the roof to walk on the roof to remove the fireworks. Just the fact that he did that, he voided the warranty. Okay, and it depends what the warranty says. So if he makes a claim and says, hey, some of the roofing shingles are damaged, and if it's found that it was damaged because the owner went up there and walked on the roof and he didn't know how to walk on it and he was wearing the wrong shoes, there's no warranty for that. So that's an exclusion on the warranty. Okay, and examples are concrete. If the concrete is damaged or there's not enough, if you're mixing your own concrete and you don't put enough water, you put too much, there's no warranty on that if you don't follow the instructions. Painting, if your paint warranty says you need primer and you need 2 finish coats and you only put 1 coat of primer and 1 coat of finish coat, rather than 2, the contractor and the paint manufacturer say, we're not giving you a warranty if the paint's peeling because you didn't follow our instructions. Same with roofing, windows, and other building components. So it's good to actually read the information, read the contract, read the fine print. And also, if you don't know, like, how do I know what the warranty is? For instance, I get plenty of people asking me, I never knew what the warranty is until after the job was finished. You know, they never gave me anything. So I said, you should ask up front before you even sign the contract. Okay, so that's a takeaway. So ask the expert. Here's some expert advice, okay, from the building expert. Before you sign the contract, ask and request copies of the draft warranties in advance for every building material. So let's say you're building a house. Ask the contractor, what building components are under a warranty? And I'm not talking about appliances, that's a given. I'm talking about roofing, siding, doors, windows, etc. So in other words, if all these building products come with a warranty, you want to see what the warranty is, and you want to see the specific warranty, because sometimes the contractor can tell you, well, you know what, the roofing product is out of stock because of the pandemic and all this excuses, supply chain problem and all that. So we're going to switch to another product. Okay, but how do you know that the other product has the same warranty? So that's why you want to read the warranties, see? So get a list of building components and request copies of the warranties in advance. And then when you read it, then you might say, well, wait a minute, I thought I was getting a 50-year warranty for my roof, but I read the document you gave me and it only says 30 years, see? So that's a red flag. Then you have to say, well, wait a minute, you know, you better change your roofing product so I can get the 50-year warranty that you promised me. So, you know, those are good tips that could save you a lot of money and headaches. So basically that kind of wraps up the construction warranties. It's basically construction warranties 101. And you know, we give these webinars. We've been giving 2 of these construction and building industry webinars, 2 a month since last year. So what you missed previously, we talked about hurricane ties, roofing, wood repair, painting, concrete spalling. We got there's a whole bunch. I can't remember all of them, but you can go to our website, askbuildingexpert.now.site, and see which ones we've given already. And we have recorded webinars there that you can select on demand and watch it, you know, whenever you have time, or share it with other people. Some things might not apply, but that's fine. What's coming up? We got developer transition, top 10 OSHA, and violations. So we got a whole bunch of stuff. So once again, go to our website and you know, take a look. And I'd like to open it up for questions now. I thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, Martin, are you still around?
I'm still around, always around, you know that.
Okay, so I got a message that it said lost internet connection, and I don't know what that pertained to.
I'm not
Was it
sure
a
either.
Zoom thing? Was it a Facebook thing? Or I didn't see
that. No, I didn't see. And you're still connected. We're still connected. So
false alarm.
Might be a drop someplace, but yeah, no problem. So we have a few questions if you're ready to answer.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, before that, if anybody has a question, you can email me, lanceluke@hawaiibuildingexpert.com. Our phone number is 808-422-2132. That's a Honolulu number for people who are watching that are not from Hawaii. And I don't mind if you call or email from any state in the United States or even countries around the world. Construction methods are basically the same all over, although if you ask code questions, they may be different in different parts of the international country. Once again, our website is askbuildingexpert.now.site. And I'm going to stop share so I can answer questions. So I'm going to do that now. Okay. So what kind of questions do people have?
Well, let's hit the first one. It's asking, I like your idea of asking for the warranty document before the contract is signed. That's a good suggestion. Do you have any other tips of things to ask for before the contract is signed?
Okay, so in addition to warranty documents, you may want to request samples of the building product. So let's say siding, windows, or roofing, ask for to see samples. I mean, they don't have to bring in a whole window. They could bring in like a small little mock-up so you can see what it looks like and, touch and feel it and all that. And I like to see actual samples of roofing shingles, what the color is, what the quality is, siding as well. I want to see the quality and, the texture and if it matches. Don't just assume that it's going to look like something that you saw. So a lot of times people go, well, there's a house down the street and it has this kind of hardboard siding, and can you install that hardboard siding? The contractor says yeah. So they put that in the contract, and then guess what? Siding was going up, and the owner goes, oh, wait a minute, that's not the same siding. And the contractor says, well, you wanted hardy siding. The problem was that the house down the street had horizontal lap siding, and the contractor didn't install lap siding. He installed 4x8 sheets of panel siding. So the look was different. The texture was different. So you got to be specific. If the contractor showed you the product, you would have said, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not the right siding that I'm talking about." So be specific. If you want to take photos of different building products and attach it as an addendum to the contract, then you could do that as well. You could say, the siding is hardboard siding and it's lap siding, and here's a photo of the actual siding, and put in a color photo so that it's all in the contract. So that if there's any changes later, you can refer to that and say, hey, it doesn't look like this. Okay, so yeah, so that's for actual samples, or go to the hardware store and these other big box stores and get samples if they're available, or if it's a project that is 6 months, 1 year down the line, write to the manufacturers and say, I'm requesting a sample of this product or that product, or paint. You can request paint samples and all that. So don't be scared to request samples. And if you're not sure, and I've worked on many condos where when it comes to paint, we actually have the contractor paint mock-up samples on a side of a building that is exposed to sun, rain, weather, and all that, so we can look at the colors and then let them choose the color. Because sometimes if you just look at the little sample you get from the store, that doesn't tell you what that color actually looks like in the sun or on, a certain side of the building. Okay, so that's why we do those. And then windows, don't assume that the windows are going to look like what's shown in the brochure unless you specify the exact model number and everything. So those are just tips to help. And what I do on my projects that I work on, it's the same that I'm telling you to do. Read the fine print, ask for the warranties up front, ask for samples if it's some building component that you're concerned with. I'm not going to ask for samples of concrete, but I do if it's a concrete and the finish is different. Like one building I worked on, the concrete was wood design. So I had them make mock-up so I could approve the wood design. And initially it was terrible, it didn't match. And I said, I'm rejecting it. You got to come up with different other wood designs that would match. So in those cases, yeah, I ask for concrete samples. But normally when you're pouring a concrete slab, we don't ask for samples because concrete basically looks the same. Probably the only building component that doesn't come with a warranty is like you're building a rock wall. You can't get a warranty for rocks that are from nature, right? If it's man-made, you could, but basically the warranty would be, well, if the rock cracks or if it's made of too much dirt, then it's not a solid rock. Then the contractor would replace it. But other than that, everything that's man-made should come with a warranty. So hopefully that's a long-winded answer to the question, but it's a good question.
Good tips, Lance, good tips. The next question that came up is, you talked about good workmanship and good products. Now, can my condo board be sure that we are getting what we are paying for? We already know to be aware of hiring the lowest bidder.
Okay, so was there, there's no specific example, right, of a building component?
Not on this question, sorry.
Okay, so that's in general. So the answer to the question would be condo board, yes, you need to get your details up front, exactly what the contractor is going to do, exactly what kind of materials he's going to use, and ask, you're going to do XYZ, what kind of materials are you going to use? And he goes, well, what do you mean? I'm just going to go to the store and buy the wood. And it's like, what kind of wood? And he goes, oh, what do you mean, what kind of wood? I'm just going to go buy. And then come to find out, he's buying untreated lumber or something. So you got to specify exactly what material. So if he's hanging drywall and it's required to, it's a fire rated wall, he cannot just use any kind of drywall. He has to use specific fire rated type X drywall. Okay, so very important. You need the list. I call it a laundry list, for simpler terms, but it's basically a material list of materials that the contractor is going to use, and ask what kind of material is it? Does it come with a warranty? Where's the list of, okay, so you gave me the list. Out of the list of 50 items that you have, can you mark down which of these items come with warranties? And I want a copy of the warranties. For a small job, he might go, wow, what are you doing? No one ever asks that. But on jobs that I work on that are multi-million-dollar jobs, and the contractor says, why do you need it? I said, don't even ask why I need it, just provide it to me. This is a huge contract and I want to know, I have to approve. And if there's a substitution, I have to approve the substitution. If he tells me, oh, you know what, we can't get this kind of window frame, we got to substitute and get a different frame. Well, he can't just do that arbitrarily. He needs to get it in writing, and it's stated in the contract that the construction manager has to approve, the architect engineer has to approve before he can even think about installing it. And it's not, oh, here's a picture of what it looks like. No, I don't want to see only the picture. I want to see the data sheets. I want to see the instruction sheets. I want to see the warranties and all that. So it kind of gets to the point of a lot of paperwork is involved, but it's okay. That's part of the whole procedure to review documentation. If your construction contract and warranty was only 2 pages, I would say that's not enough. Because even to build a house or to renovate a house, I've seen 10 pages of a construction contract. So, be careful out there. We got any other questions?
Yes, we got a couple more here, Lance. The next one is, looks like a family-owned question. My family owns an apartment building and it was newly painted 2 years ago. The metal railings are rusting again, and the painting contractor said my warranty was for only a year and it expired a year ago. He gave me a proposal to repaint. Is that right? And am I responsible to pay more money for bad work? Good question.
Okay, so at the top, just thinking about it, if the warranty expired, then yes, the contractor should get paid to go back and fix the problem. If the problem occurred within the warranty period, then the contractor should go back and fix it for free. If the problem occurred after the warranty period, but it was due to poor workmanship, then my opinion is that the contractor should go back and fix it for free. Now, the argument from the contractor is that, well, wait a minute, the warranty expired already. So, I have to charge. And my reply would be, yeah, but you didn't do a good job on the prep. Had you grinded the corrosion, sanded it down, and applied the proper protection over the metal, and then painted, we wouldn't see this problem. So I'm saying that this is your problem, and you're not entitled to charge, for doing the extra work, because it's a construction defect claim. And the contractor would argue, and by the way, this happened to me many times on projects that I worked on, or I get called in after the fact with some problem. And I normally tell the contractor, how did you, what method did you use to grind the corrosion off and paint afterwards? They said, oh, we used a wire wheel, we grind it down. And I said, did you guys grind it down to bare metal? And he said, yeah. I said, do you have any pictures? And of course the answer is no. And then what did you do after that? Well, I applied corrosion protection and this and that, and then we painted it. So I said, well, if you had done all those things that you're saying you did, I wouldn't see any corrosion. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 years later and your warranty's over. And my stand is, you cannot give a warranty on defective workmanship. But we go back and forth with the arguments. Okay, but then I said, okay, let's bring in someone else. So I call the I find out what paint product was used, and then I called the paint rep and I said, "Can you come on and take a look?" And they look and go, "Oh yeah, we need to redo this." I said, "Yeah, that's a given, but what is your opinion on how this thing happened?" And we're not looking at a 10-year-old painting project. This is only 2 years old. And then that rep agrees with me. And so the contractor basically, gets upset. But to me, tough luck. The work has to be good workmanship. So fortunately, it got settled. But let's say the contractor says, "Hey, I'm not going back." If the owner decided to sue the contractor and make a claim for poor workmanship, it can be proven that there was poor workmanship and the contractor would lose. So I just normally try to, settle things in a friendly way. But if the contractor refuses, then, there's no alternative. It must go through mediation, arbitration, or litigation. And fortunately, most of the contractors agree to go fix the problem. And it's good for goodwill also. You don't want clients to be unhappy because you left them holding the bag, and you did a bad job and you ran away. So hopefully that answers that question.
Oh, that was a good answer, Lance. I got one more here. The question is, how would I know what building products come with warranties? Is there a list somewhere we could get? You probably have your own list, right?
First of all, you ask the contractor, you're renovating this portion of my house. What materials that you're using come with warranties? And ask him to make a list. Ask him to make a material list. What I do is I say, can you make a scope of work and a schedule of values? And then that's sort of like a list that has all the types of work that's going to be done. And the schedule of values has the type of work and then how much the work costs. So you can kind of get an idea from that. So concrete foundation, lumber, walls, electrical, plumbing, ceiling, roof, that kind of thing. So you could kind of create your own list by asking the contractor. And then the other, I'm going to stray away from this because I remember something. The question that someone asked is what other things they could ask for. I just remembered, ask the contractor for a construction schedule and how often is payment needed to be made. And you want a schedule. You want to see the construction schedule, and you want to see a schedule of when he wants to get paid. So that way you know upfront. And how is he going to get paid? Is he going to just bill $10,000 every week? Or is he going to bill according to the percentage of work that's being done? Of course, it makes sense to bill percentage because when he's 50% completed, you wouldn't want to look at your records and go, "Hey, wait a minute, I paid the guy 75% of the whole job and he's only 50% completed." So make sure when you pay the contractor, and this has to do with warranties as well, pay for only the work that's being done and not for future work. Of course, up front, the contractor is going to say, "I need a deposit because I got to go buy the materials and all that." Okay, well, that's fine. But, if he's asking for, if it's $100,000 job and he says, "I need a $50,000 check up front because I got to go buy the materials." Well, that's a red flag because on a $100,000 job, the materials don't cost no $50,000, right? So, just don't be afraid to ask for documentation and things like that. So in continuing the answer to question that was asked. Get a list and prepare your own list, because sometimes the contractor's in a rush. He gives you the list. You go, wait a minute, I don't see. What about my toilets? It's not on the list, but I'm sure it comes with a warranty. So, plumbing, electrical, and those components come with warranties too. But the caveat is that when you buy a plumbing fixture or you buy an electrical fixture, like once you buy it, it's hard to return it, especially if you used it, right? So if the plumbing fixture is installed because that's the one you wanted, but then you look at it and go, wait a minute, that's way too small. I want those bigger ones with the big shower head and all that. The contractor has to take it off, and he can't return it and get credit because it's used already, right? So you might end up paying more because you wanted a different fixture. So be careful and cognizant of the warranty issues. And there's a lot of information, and most people don't ask the right questions. So I'm giving you the information so that you can ask the right questions. And if you get stuck, reach back out to us. We get a lot of calls, texts, and emails from people, and these aren't even our jobs. They're just people that want information because they need to know more. And if you're a condo board member, I suggest that you hire a construction manager to monitor your bigger projects, because that's the only way you're going to keep track. If the board members or resident site manager, property manager, if they're not specialized in that field of construction consulting or construction management, then you're sticking your neck out, because the expectation is you expect the manager on duty to be monitoring the construction work that they don't have the experience. Even if they do have experience, that's not their job necessarily. They can't go up on a rig and inspect concrete spalling repair, painting, and waterproofing on a 40-story building. So, that in it of itself would be a good idea to hire a third-party expert to help you. So, Martin, we got any other questions on Zoom or on comments, questions on Facebook?
That's all the questions that came in, but there is a long, lengthy comment on Facebook about some technical inspection legal term thing, but I don't know if you want me to read it, or you want to check it out later.
Let me go on Facebook now, and
okay.
If it's long, you may not want to read it. And sorry, folks, excuse me. I gotta go find the.
Yeah, it was just posted on the Facebook Live by one of the viewers.
Oh, okay. Is that the technically inspection is a legal term that implies a rigorous, detailed examination and certification that the work complies with the plans and specifications?
Yeah, that's the one that I found or saw. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the distinction that most lay people don't understand or appreciate. Okay, so this guy's an architect. I know who he is. He's also a guitar player, and he travels a lot, but I know who he is. So he brought up a good point, but and he's correct. It's a legal term, but it also doesn't have to be a legal term for the average layperson. And regarding the design professional, so let's say you got, and I'm not talking about the person who wrote the Facebook comment, I'm talking about in general. If it's a licensed architect or engineer and they draw plans and stamp it, okay, there's a attestment. So when they stamp it, and they draw plans, stamp it, and there's an attestment that they have to sign, and the attestment basically states, it's like an affidavit that says, I, John Doe, either prepared the plans or had to do with supervision of the plan preparation, and I'm going to be the person that observes the construction. Okay, what that means is, what that attestment means, that that person, John Doe, that drew the plans is also the John Doe that is going to observe construction. He's not going to supervise the construction work. There's a difference between supervision and observation. Supervision is he's there telling the contractor what to do as a supervisor. Observation is he still can be there, but he's not there every day. He may come once a month or once every 2 months or whatever, just to observe, to make sure everything is in accordance with the plans and specs. So basically his job is to certify that, okay, I was there, I looked at the building and construction, and in my opinion, it follows and conforms to the plans and specs that I drew. Basically, that's what he's saying. So in a legal aspect, when there's a term inspection, we basically think that that guy is the inspector. Okay, he's actually the observer, but sometimes the two can be synonymous. Okay, so to a lay person, it doesn't have to be legal, because when you say the person inspects the job, then it's kind of known that that person is going to go and look at stuff, right? So in the layman's form, that inspector's looking at things. Okay, if you go further, that person is looking at things, but he's also cognizant that he needs to be sure that there's going to be a warranty at the end of the job, and there's also going to be good workmanship. Okay, so thank you, Peter, for the comment. That's very good, and keep responding to Facebook posts. I post a lot of stuff. Some stuff is doesn't have to do with building and construction, but I use it for entertainment and also educational purposes too. So I guess that's near the end of our time, Martin, right?
Yep, we're good. We're good.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for attending, and once again, tune in next time. We'll be talking about, what is the next one? Is it on developer transition?
The next one is on developer transition, correct?
Okay, so developer transition is a very hot topic, because basically, if you don't know what it is, it pertains to these condominium projects being built by the developer, and then the transition is the developers turning the property over to the condo association. There's a whole bunch of projects going out, and we've been having problems in the past where there's the developer issues going on, and the transition is a key component in this whole process. And when there's a turnover, there's a lot of documentation that needs to be provided from the developer to the homeowners association. So I hope you can join us for that. Thank you for joining today. If you kind of got sidetracked while you're attending the webinar, we're going to have the replay for you on demand. If you watch it on Facebook and somehow you can't find it, go to our website, and you can find it there. Also, if you have any other topics that you want me to cover, please contact me and we can consider it. We have right now probably 20 topics in the queue that we're working on, and not only applies to building and construction in Hawaii, but we also, I think one of the ones I'm going to talk about, one of the webinars is about the Millennium Tower, and another one about the Grenfell fire in London. So we'll go all over the place and try to provide you the information. The best thing is it's free, and the other thing is it's factual. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just giving you information based on what I know over 40 years of experience, and just giving you some war stories to help the situation out. So once again, thank you for attending. Hope to see you at the next webinar, and we're going to sign off right now. See you again. Aloha.
Aloha.
Okay, so let's see.